What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Renee with Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you're doing well. This afternoon, we got a good brother back. Okay, we got to interview him a while back. His name is Anthony Wilson, also known as Tony Wolf. All right, he's doing amazing things. One of the most amazing things that he did is he got himself out of prison after a wrongful conviction. So we're definitely glad to have him here. And you know me, we finna jump right into it. What's up, bro? Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back. It's been a lot of new developments, a lot of everything positive. Though I always say my PPP, it has to be positive and productive.
Right.
But it ain't.
Right, for sure. Yeah, it has been a while. You were one of the first guests that Prison Riot Radio ever had, and I want to take a moment to definitely appreciate you for giving me that opportunity and seeing my effort that I was trying to do and my journalistic efforts. So, it's full circle. You back again. I've done some things, and you've definitely been doing some things. So I definitely want to talk to you about it. So give the people, a brief description on, who you are. So tell them a little bit about yourself and where you from.
My government name is Anthony Wilson, but everybody calls me Tony Wolf, so that's been my name now, based on what the streets call me. So, okay. I was wrongly convicted back 1991, over 30, maybe 32, 33 years ago, and been trying to prove my innocence ever since. Obtained my files from the police department some 16 years later, which they say they destroyed, and end up making some type of agreement with the state. They saw they wrong, but they didn't want to fully exonerate me. So came home and went to law school, Howard U, obtained my certification as a paralegal investigator, started my own business called the Great Injustice Paralegal Consultant Services, where I started helping individuals, with their cases, helping them get out of prison. And so since then, I did a documentary on my story. The name of my documentary is called A Felon Freed Me. Mm-hmm. You can go on to www.afelonfreeme.org, and you can see it's a 4-part docuseries where it talks about one of the cases that I worked on and freed a young man out in Baltimore City when he was compensated with a substantial amount of damages for his wrongful conviction. It talks about how I assisted other men inside the system and how they showed their appreciation for what I did for them. Mm-hmm. I have a nonprofit called Fresh, Fully Restoring Every Son's Hope, where I work with young men and young women in the community and the DMV to help them, change the way they think, change their lives, and keep them from going into the system. And so all I'm doing now until I leave this earth is basically helping people, and that's my mission. As long as God put breath in my body. So, but you got to be patient with me because a lot of people reach out to me. So
right, I get it, bro. I definitely get that. You definitely have been up to a lot. I want to, dive a little bit on each, just to give a little more expansion on it. But before that, I want to ask you a real question. Have you seen in your line of work that when it comes to Baltimore and even Maryland, because I'm sure you probably helped the surrounding areas, that wrongful convictions and, judicial misconduct is rampant?
Well, what's so coincidental about this whole situation is when I was in the Maryland system, I attended Coppin State University through a grant funding that came through a philanthropist named George Soros. And I did a term paper in my sociology class, and the name of my paper was called The Injustices Within the Judicial System. And I wrote that paper back in 1999-2000, over 20 years ago. And everything I wrote about in that paper has now become rampant now throughout our society now, where police corruption, prosecutor misconduct, tampering with witnesses, tampering with evidence, judges, judicial misconduct due judges, where judges turn a blind eye to what is wrong and what is happening to a defendant. And the reason I believe that happened because they came down with this tough on crime bill, and so everybody was basically following that trend. Instead of seeing what was going on that was wrong, they end up just going with the status quo. But now all those cases are being reviewed, and now they finding out that when they did the tough on crime, that the police was just locking up anybody and just putting the charges on them. And now, well, as myself, we done decades or centuries in the penal system, and now they're trying to right a wrong, but they done took like majority of our lives from us. I did 22 years, before I was free. I've been home now 12 years and just doing my thing and trying to help, right the wrong that happened to me,
Right.
And so, yeah.
So let me ask you this, bro. Some people, they would have freed themselves and been like, boom, I'm out of here, and hit the ground, running on whatever else they wanted to do. What made it a mission of yours to reach back and help other people?
All right, so I got to be totally honest. When I got out of there, my whole thing was business, because before I went in, I had owned like 2 businesses. I had a carpet cleaning service, and I had an auto sales service. So I used to go to auctions and things of that nature. When I was in, I thought about the real estate market. I actually wanted to open up a hair salon and barbershop for young boys and young girls. It was going to be called Baby Boys, Baby Girls, where we only catered to kids ages 12 and under.
Okay.
And so my thing was business. I wasn't trying to work on those cases. I had worked all those years to try to prove my innocence, which I still didn't, but ended up getting out based on the evidence that was recovered. However, I had a lot of guys that were friends of mine who kept calling me like, hey, Tony, hey, Wolf, man, you know the law, man, I need help. So I was just basically just doing what a friend does, was running down, being in a courtroom as a curved witness. As a matter of fact, I'm a young man that just came home. I went to a little Father's Day cookout, and he gave me a hug so tight, and he said, Slim, you were so instrumental in helping me get my freedom, because he went for what they call a reconsideration of his sentence. He had a life plus 20 years sentence for a murder. He said, how you did it persuaded the judge to give me a chance. He said, man, you spoke on my behalf, and then you brought in 5 guys who was in with us who had life sentences for murders, and they all testified on how they was doing, and it made the judge look at me and say, hey, if those individuals can do it, we're going to give this other individual a chance. So he been out here doing this thing. He got married, and so he thanked me for that. So so my thing is, I give credit to a lawyer. I always tell him, I'm always say his name is Christopher Griffin, Prince George County attorney. And one day I was in the courthouse, and he said, you the one they call Wolf? I said, yeah. He said, man, you need to get your papers. And I said, my papers? He said, man, go get your paralegal certification, then you can do this thing legitimately.
For real.
I said, okay, yeah. And that's how I got into it. I went and looked at paralegal courses. Howard U was doing a first-time pilot program, and you had to do an essay in order to get into their course. That's the HBU. So I did an essay on my wrongful conviction. The dean and professors, and they called me in and they talked to me. They said, hey, look, this story is very compelling. We want you in this class. We're not going to tell nobody your situation, but we want you to definitely be able to get your certification. And so that's where everything started. So I went to Howard U, graduated, and one of the professors, she is a retired Supreme Court judge in D.C. She called me in her classroom before we graduated. She was like, look, don't work for no law firm, because they're going to utilize you and take all your knowledge from you. Right. She said, work for yourself as a freelancer. And that's where the Great Injustice Paralegal Consulting Services started.
Okay, now that's a dope story. And I know that the brothers and sisters that you help are more than grateful, because you definitely putting the work in there. So I want to talk more about FRESH. Tell us what it stands for again.
Well, FRESH stands for Fully Restoring Every Son's Hope.
Okay. So tell us how that got started and what it's about.
All right, so here's another story that must be told.
All right.
So, all right, I come home. You know, I'm trying to find my way. You know, it's not for me. It's pretty much easy. I had a lot of support. I had a support system, and I'm pulling up to gas stations, and I see these little young guys, 14, 15, 13. Hey, OG, you got $1? And I'm looking at them like, you ain't here. You put my bag.
Right,
You ain't
that
asking
part.
me to work my window. You know,
Right.
it was like, oh man, OG, man, you know, you got $1 in here. So I started looking at this. I saw these young men sitting in front of 7-Elevens asking for money, and so the spirit gave me fresh. Because I seen like these young men, they ain't had no hope. They got their pants hanging down, eyes bloodshot red. They look like they high on something. So the first thing I did was I went to the Dollar Tree and I bought all the squeegees they had, all the squirt bottles they had, and I bought Windex, and I poured and filled all those bottles up. And every time I pulled to a gas station or a 7-Eleven or one of those stores, and one of those young men asked me for some money, I would go in the back of my truck and I would give them that squeegee and that squirt bottle and say, this is how you make your $1. And that's where Fresh was born.
Okay, so what are some of the things that y'all are doing out here in the community?
So Fresh over the last, we just celebrated our 10th year anniversary on April the 29th. We had a standing room only that came out to celebrate with us. We awarded people that supported us during the course of our 10 years. So what we provided over those years were anger management, stop the bullying, pull up your pants, choices, alternatives to violence, gang prevention. We have a program called Knowing Your Rights and Engaging in the Legislative Process. We now have a curriculum now that we're about to launch in August before school starts this year called Fresh Start, Fresh Thinking. So in this county, there's been a rash of carjackings in the county. 4 young men just got arrested for attempted carjacking yesterday in the county. And so I get calls all the time from different agencies, even someone from the police department called me, asked me what could be done. And so what our organization does is we go to the community. So we talk to the young men that's in those particular rural neighborhoods where, you know, they being influenced by those guys who they want to be cool with or they want to be accepted by, and we try to change the way they think and say, hey, look, there's a better way. Who wants the better way? And then we put them in different little programs, whether it's HVAC, forklift drive. Like one young man, he wanted to do forklift, and we just got him certified. So he said, man, I appreciate you, Mr. Wilson. Another young man, he wanted to do HVAC. We just got him certified. So those are the things that we're trying to do, is basically give them a future where they can see that the streets or death is not for them at this immediate time. And so that's what Fresh is about. Fresh is about giving those individuals that hope.
That sounds amazing. So amazing. Thank you so much for doing that, and those that help you in that, because it do take more than one person. We got to definitely work collectively to solve the things that's going on in our community. So kudos to you for that, bro. 100%.
Thank you.
All right, so I know that I often see you on different panels and things like that. Do you have anything that's coming up or anything that you recently did that the people should know about?
Ask me what I don't got coming up. that's the thing. So, I've been invited for the next 3 months. I'm basically just booked up for everything. So, I had an event that was scheduled for tomorrow. However, it's been raining down here in the DMV, and they're calling for rain for the next 6-7 days. So they canceled that. But the young lady and we still going to meet tomorrow because we want to do something collaborative, right? About stop the violence and stop the carjacking in the community. So that's going to happen sometime in August, and I'll let you know about that.
Okay.
Monday, I'm doing a podcast with retired Judge Alexander Williams. I'll definitely put that out once that comes out. Thursday, I'm the MC for the keynote speaker for an organization called Employ Prince George, where I'll be speaking to the men and the women who are graduating from this program on Thursday, and basically motivating them to basically, continue with their lives on a positive track, and then let them know that you completed this, or you can complete anything else you do in life. This is just the starting point. I got invited to an event out in Jersey. So it's just so much stuff going on that whenever something happens, I always put it, on Facebook or something. I was invited to help out with a Queens, it's called Ladies to Queens, or Queens to Lady event, by one of the representatives in the county. So she reached out to me. So she emailed me yesterday saying, make sure you are ready for this event for June. I think it's July the 22nd.
Okay.
So I told her I'm going to be one of the male figures there that will basically speak on, women modesty and what they should accept from men, and what they should, how they should carry themselves when they're out there with their modesty and trying to, date someone or court someone, or even careers and things of that nature.
Okay. So. Yeah, that's dope that you're doing that, because not only do the young boys need a man in their life that's a positive figure, the young ladies do as well. So the fact that you're crossing over and doing that is amazing work. So you keep on doing it, bro. I don't want to keep you too much longer, so please let the people know how to get in contact with you, and to also how to link up with you so they can see the amazing things you're doing and participate.
Well, I'm about to give it to you. Hopefully y'all can get this. You can go on my Facebook page. It's called Fresh. You go to the Fresh program. You can contact us through there. You can go onto our website, www.fullyrestoringeverysons, that's SONS hope.com. You can reach us at 240-938-2166. You can look at our documentary on A Felon Freed Me. You can go to YouTube if you want to see our Knowing Your Rights. You can pull up YouTube, Knowing Your Rights, and engaging in the judicial process, the political process, and you'll see all our videos where we talk to the kids, and we also do it with the adults, and just see all the stuff we're doing in the community. I have a lot of videos now that we have been doing over the last year, so I can always send it out to you, Jay, and you can just disseminate that to your audience, and they can see the stuff that we're doing. So all we doing is just helping. I told my team we just helping people that need help. And then the one thing I always tell people, we're gonna help you if you need help, but if you bluffing, I'm not wasting my time and my energy on you. I'm gonna let you know that now.
For sure. So you got any last gems that you want to drop on us, bro, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I just always tell people to remain faithful, and don't never give up. And I always say, as long as you live it, you can always make it better.
Yes.
As long as you got that breath in your body, you can always get to that next plateau, and don't let nobody discourage you. Always walk with those who want the best for you. Always make sure that those who are with you are not holding you down. I was talking to a friend the other day, and they was trying to start a business, and they were saying the people that they were talking to were basically discouraging them. I said, because they're not vision seekers. They're not visionaries. So you need to get them out your path and move with those who walk on the same path that you walk on. And it's a verse in Amos said that how can two walk together unless they agree? So just telling everybody out there, even those that are incarcerated, don't give up. If you know my story, all my friends, all my buddies, everybody that'll tell you when I was in prison, every time they used to say, "What's up, Tony Wolf?" I say, "Getting out of jail." "What's up, Tony Wolf?" "Going home." "What's up, Tony Wolf?" "Working on my case." That's all I said the whole time I was in there. And I spoke that into manifestation. So remember, your words are power.